What's up, everybody? It's Tyler from Dirt Road Country here, and I am joined by one of the best groups in country music right now. They actually won Group of the Year at the CCMAs this year. James Barker Band joins me. What's going on, guys?
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing very well, and I'm looking forward to chatting about this EP. Ahead of Our Time is out now. How excited are you guys to have this thing out in the world?
We're so fired up. I mean, we've been sitting on these songs for what feels like forever, and just feels good to finally have it out there and folks able to listen to it.
Well, you've got six songs out there. Three of them are already out, and you got three new ones out, including the title track. And I want to go straight to that song. So, Ahead of Our Time, for those who have already heard it, I mean, it's been out for like what, 12 hours, whatever. It's kind of like a heartbreak song, but then you've got this whole idea of the title of the whole EP being Ahead of Our Time, which could kind of have a different meaning. So, starting with the song, what's the inspiration behind that one?
Yeah, it like you said, like it that's kind of like obviously a super common saying. I've heard that saying so many times, but never heard anybody write a song about it. And we thought it'd be pretty cool to write a song that kind of captures that because it's a big idea. It's a big idea to think like maybe me and this girl, maybe this relationship was ahead of its time and maybe it would make more sense now than it did back then. I feel like that's a really common thing that people think when you're looking back, reminiscing on something that didn't work. And I don't know, it just felt like such a big idea that it had to be a big musical song to accompany it. You couldn't write something with that broad of an idea and do this like little thing. And we didn't want it to be too clever. Like obviously we write some songs that are clever and the hook kind of twists and turns, but this one was like, no, we just want this one to feel honest and real. And I think it really did. People seem to be connecting with it so far. We played it a bit this summer at our shows and people seem to connect with it. So hopefully we did the right thing. And then with the EP being titled Ahead of Our Time, as we do with everything, we kicked around a bunch of different ideas, and it is just such a unique title, like for a song and for an EP. Where like it is kind of cool, and this batch of songs, like I said, we've been sitting on for a long time, and we're like these
Mhm.
songs almost feel like ahead of their time. Where we had these songs ready to go for a minute, and I don't know, it feels a little bit cheeky in a way, which we're always a fan of.
I love it. And speaking of the rest of the EP, like I was saying, you already had three songs out there. One of them was with Dalton Dover, and you've got the most recent one with Champagne. What's that song about for those that don't know?
That song is like the happiest breakup song that's ever existed. Maybe that's like your classic country dude gets broken up with and finds the silver lining as opposed to the negative thing. That one we've been playing out live for a minute too. It's really fun, but it's literally all about that thing. It's like she walked out and I'm not going to get down. I'm going to go have a beer and we're going to be sipping whiskey like it's champagne. And it's
I,
that feels like that feels like the Eric Church thing to do.
And definitely on the album too. I mean, I remember when James said he was going to go write that day. That was like for you as a writer, that was a big one for you. You could probably dive into that more than I can. But.
Yeah, that was with Travis Wood and Rodney Clawson, and Rodney Clawson is like country music legend. He's written more number ones than we can even call to mention, and so getting to write that one with him, and it's crazy because you listen to it like that sounds like a Clawson song. That sounds like it's got that little bit of traditional country to it.
yeah, I love it. I love it. And I was going to bring up the line sipping champagne like it's whiskey.
Yeah.
That's clever. I like that.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
kind of. I don't know. It's the funny thing about that song in general is we're kind of like we're just raised up middle class like white trash, and I feel like that song is written for guys like us.
well, all of you are from the Toronto area, actually, and that's kind of a far away from Nashville, and it's in a whole other country. I know country music is huge in Canada, but how did the four of you initially meet? I know James, you and Connor met at like a summer camp kind of thing. How'd you meet Bobby and Taylor?
We met at band camp. It's
Nice.
all the rumors they talk about band camp are not true. It is not nearly as crazy as they talk about. But no, we met there when we were 15 and 16 and started playing together right away. And we were playing together for a couple of years, just like playing parties and bars and that kind of thing. And we ended up bumping into Taylor because he was running a recording studio, and we talked him out of his good paying job to come join a band because why wouldn't you? And we played in a couple bands actually with Bobby where he was playing bass in a couple bands, and we're like, hey dude, want to go do this thing? We want to try and get rich and famous. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll try and do that. And it's crazy how when you're young and you just like something, you just do it. We're just like, let's just do this thing. And I feel like we're still just doing the thing.
Well, before I move on to the next question, I got to say two things about this. One, I guess you did well with that one-time band camp. And two, I'm glad that you know the American Pie reference, so thank you.
Yeah, no, we're big American Pie guys.
Same here, same here. And now that you're in Nashville, what was that whole move like for all of you?
It pretty crazy. I mean, I feel like every artist, every writer, every musician, when you come to Nashville for the first time, it is like, what is this place? I mean, like you go down to Broadway and you see the best guitar player you've ever seen in your life. You go to the Bluebird and you see the best songwriter you've ever seen in your life.
Dollar beers.
You dollar beers. All right. Yeah.
And
And honestly, like from the first time we came down here, we're like, we got to move here because not only because everybody says, you got to be here to win that whole thing, but more importantly than that is you just want to be so much better being here. It drives you to be so much better. I feel like there's two kinds of people in like the creative space, and there's people who see someone really good and get discouraged, and there's people who see someone really good and get inspired, and we're all the latter of that. And we came here and we're like, man, we want to do what those guys are doing, and we know we have the capacity to do it. Just got to put in the time, and you just got to be here.
Well, before you go, I want each of you, I mean, you could do it all together in one answer. It's kind of an on-the-spot thing. If you had to get people to listen to Ahead of Our Time with one sentence to pitch it to people, what would that sentence be?
Oh, I got it.
Whoa, okay, Paul, go.
I was gonna say, because you hinted at it earlier when you're saying it's a breakup song. I think it's definitely a breakup song, but I also think it's a song that could rekindle a lot of flame. So if you're trying to find the right words to say to the girl to get her back because you were kind of a bad person in your past, I think this is the song to do it. And yeah, that's my pitch.
Here you go.
Nice.
Yeah, done. We got one answer. That's it.
I like it. Catchy. And if everybody watching this doesn't already follow the James Barker Band on Instagram and the rest of the social media platforms, go do it now. Ahead of Our Time is a great EP, one of the best projects this year. If you haven't streamed it already in the little time that it's been out as a whole project.
What are you waiting for?
What Taylor said. What are you waiting for? Guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
We'll see you guys next time.